Let's find some coterminal angles in radians. So radian measure, what's going to happen on these is to get these coterminal angles, what has to happen is the terminal side has to land in the exact same position as the original. So when we're looking at pi over 3 in standard position, that's going to end up in the first quadrant. Coterminal angles are also going to end up with the terminal side aiming the exact same direction as where pi over 3 aims. But the thing to remember as you're doing these is to go all the way around the circle. It requires to go 2 pi radians to end up going all the way around the circle. So to find coterminal angles, what we're going to do is either add 2 pi or subtract 2 pi to find coterminal angles. So as we're thinking about this, we want to start with our angle that's given to us, the pi over 3. We want to add 2 pi to this. However, when we're doing this, it's kind of helpful if we strategically rewrite this. So if I think of pi over 3 and I want to add 2 pi to this, we already have a fraction. I would like to get a fraction with the same denominator over here for our 2 pi. So what I would do in this case is I want to have a 3 as our common denominator. I would multiply numerator and denominator each by 3. So that works out to be 6 pi over 3 is equivalent to 2 pi. And now with that common denominator, you're going to keep the common denominator and add our numerators. So you have 1 pi plus 6 more pi's makes 7 pi's. That's going to be a coterminal angle to our pi over 3. Now we could find additional coterminal angles by repeating the same process. So we could start with 7 pi over 3, the one we just found. And if we wanted to add 2 pi to this, I'm going to strategically write that as 6 pi over 3. Because that's equivalent to 2 pi, right? Same work as what we just did over here to get 6 pi over 3 equivalent to our 2 pi. And then as we want to add these together, combining our numerators, we get 7 pi's plus 6 more pi's makes 13 pi's over 3. That's another coterminal angle. Now we could go and find negative coterminal angles as well. All right, we could add another 2 pi to the one we just found. All right, each time we do this, we're going to get more coterminal angles. But let's work on finding one negative one just for practice. So we could start with the one that was given to us, our theta being pi over 3. And if we wanted to subtract 2 pi over 2 pi, that's equivalent to subtracting 6 pi over 3. We could say that negative 5 pi over 3 is another coterminal angle to our pi over 3. All right. And again, you could keep repeating this, adding 2 pi or subtracting 2 pi repeatedly to get more and more coterminal angles. All right, let's take a look at, we want to find our angle beta that's coterminal to 19 pi over 3, but it's in this first time around the circle between 0 and 2 pi. So 19 pi over 3, as I take a look at that improper fraction, that's too big. 19 divided by 4 is bigger than 2. So as we want to find coterminal angles in this specified range, what we're going to do is we need something smaller. So I'm going to start with the 19 pi over 4, and I want to subtract 2 pi. So I want to subtract 2 pi, but I'm going to strategically write this. So we have 4 as our denominator, and I'm thinking to myself, 8 divided by 4 makes 2. So I'm going to use 8 pi over 4 is equivalent to subtracting 2 pi away. Okay, as I subtract that, that's going to be 11 pi over 4. Now that's still a little bit too big. That is a coterminal angle, but it doesn't fit in this correct range. So let's do it one more time. We can say 11 pi over 4 and subtract another 2 pi, but I'm strategically writing it as 8 pi over 4. 8 divided by 4 again will make that 2. And this works out to be 3 pi over 4. Nice proper fraction, fits in between 0 and 2 pi. So that's the coterminal angle we're looking for. All right, one more of these. We want to find the angle of measure theta that is coterminal with this angle, negative 17 pi over 6, but theta is going to fit between 0 and 2 pi. So again, this one doesn't work. It's a negative. We need a positive angle. So as we want to start with this, let's begin with negative 17 pi over 6. Being that it's a negative and we want a positive angle, we want to add 2 pi to this. I'm going to strategically write this adding 2 pi so it has 6 as a denominator. So I'm going to think 12 divided by 6 makes 2. So 12 pi over 6 is equivalent to adding 2 pi. As we add that, I'm going to end up with negative 5 pi over 6. Okay, it's getting closer, but it's still negative. We need our solution to be between 0 and 2 pi. So let's start with negative 5 pi over 6. Do this process one more time. Again, adding 12 pi over 6, that's adding 2 pi to this. It's going to work out to 7 pi over 6. That fits in the right range between 0 and 2 pi, so that's our coterminal angle that we're looking for theta. Okay, hope this helps out in finding coterminal angles using radian measure. Remember, either add 2 pi or subtract 2 pi. Strategically writing these so they have the common denominator makes life a lot easier. All right, good.